Hello all you bonsai people out there. Welcome to my first YouTube video. Today we're exploring a little repotting on this small shohin Douglas Fir. Well, now that we have that graceful entrance out of the way, it's currently the beginning of April. Spring is well underway here in the garden, and that means last minute panic repotting. This is one of the trees I had slated for repotting. It's a Douglas Fir. It actually had a graft here that was weeping. The graft died before I owned this tree. And now the original Douglas Fir variety is thriving. So we're going to repot it. I've already done some trimming because I want it to become more compact and get more back buds like along this branch. So this is what we want to see. But I'm kind of experimenting. Maybe this is too early to put it into a small pot, but we'll see what happens. I can always put it into a larger pot later. So I'm going to start by getting rid of all these weeds. And when I say it might be too early to put it into this smaller pot, I mean I might still want branches to grow for styling purposes. I'm not trying to build a trunk, so I guess it's okay in that regard. But I still want some substantial back budding and the tree to be very healthy. So in cases like that, you might not want to put it in a small pot yet. But I do see some very large buds and many back buds, so I think it might be, we'll see how it does over time. But I think it might be an okay time to do it. If it develops too slowly, you could always put it into a larger pot again. These branches are dead, so I'm just getting them out of the way. Somewhere here. This is my fertilizer bag. It's a little old now. Okay. So like I said, we're happy with the trunk size. We're gonna go ahead and put this in a smaller pot, a little nicer pot. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but the pot that I picked out is a pot I got from Sam Miller at Intermountain Bonsai. He's very active in the bonsai community, making and selling pots. He does a lot of good work. This stuff goes incredibly quickly on the auction page. Like, you have to watch that like a hawk to get one of his auctions these days. But I got it a while back, so let's see how this tree looks in it. Now you see these are fine roots here. That's good. That's what keeps the tree alive. Those are what are importing all the new growth, or all the water and whatnot into the tree. The bigger roots, they're just a tube. The fine roots are what collect the nutrients in the water. So that's what you need to think about when you do root pruning, is how much fine root are you leaving behind. Someone with the wire in there. So I'm kind of starting at the top, looking for nibari like this one, looking for the radial roots and where we want the new soil line to be. okay if we tear a few roots, because in the proper repotting season it will grow new ones. Of course, you don't want to do extra damage to the tree when you don't have to, but it'll be fine. Something you can say with experience. It's kind of interesting, there's no roots in this middle section. I wonder if this side of the tree is dead or something. And I'm not really trying to totally bare root, I'm just trying to see what's in here. Maybe we'll end up putting it back in the same pot if it won't fit in the new pot right away. The soil that it was in was very organic, not really bonsai soil, more just regular potting soil, which might explain why the weeping branch died. Maybe it wasn't getting enough oxygen into the roots. So even putting it into a smaller pot should still be a radical improvement for the health, given that we're getting it out of this old soil that doesn't offer much in the way of oxygen. Okay, so you can see I've rinsed the remaining soil away. It's pretty easy to rinse away when it's all organic like that. It wasn't my intent to fully bare root this today, but since all the soil is organic and not really what we want to keep, I guess that's what we're doing. Pretty sure the tree will be okay. You get some kind of arrogance like that once you've been doing this long enough. So we'll see. I'll update you all. I think I've come to a decision about what I'm going to do, where my tree starting point is going to be. This section, it's kind of clear that if I started it down here, there would be this weird bulge and inverse taper. So this is the most logical starting point. And that means that all of this chunky stuff down below here, I'll try to remove so that I can fit this into the relatively shallow pot that we've lined up. So this will be my starting point, and we've got a good number of roots around here that we can definitely work with for the nabari. I'll probably mostly take off this section of the chunky stumpy stuff. Maybe a little bit somewhere in between here will be my stopping point, depending how many roots are all attached to the very bottom. Okay, should be fun. You'll notice I'm not beelining for cutting the fine roots. You know, the fine roots keep the tree alive, and sometimes you do need to cut them back, but the really thick stuff is the part that is keeping this tree from fitting into this pot really easily. Actually, it would probably fit right now, but we're going to get rid of some of the extra stuff at the bottom. Anyways, all of that is to say that thinking about removing your structural roots is more important than just cutting fine roots back for the sake of doing that. So we cut roots with purpose. And that way our trees have the best chance of survival, because we leave the roots that we don't need to cut. So after we cut some of these structural ones, we'll be like, oh yeah, this tree still has a good amount of fine roots. So I can go a little bit higher, and then we can reevaluate again. It's pretty easy to cut through. Expected worse. Okay, now it doesn't have quite so many fine roots. Quite a lot coming off of this section. I feel like if I cut into that, we'll have nothing, not very much left. So, like this root might even be dead or just not have that much alive left to it. So it is important that we save a good amount of these. Maybe I'll cut one more time. There wasn't any particularly deep taproots. I think someone at some point cut the taproot for me, got this process started. That's kind of where you thank the previous bonsai generation, I guess. This is my typical mix for trees in development. It's 1/3 mulch, composted mulch I should say, and 1/3 lava, 1/3 pumice. And like I said, we're gonna go for more of a diagonal angle this time rather than straight up. Now we're going to see what we can do to fit these roots into here. It actually should not be too hard to fit these roots. I've just done a little root thinning in this area so that hoping it focuses energy more on rebuilding the roots higher up. Especially this big one didn't have too many fine roots in it. And our tree, most importantly, our tree still has plenty of fine roots. So we're going to build a bigger mound. There's not that much soil to compact in, but it's pretty good. This is how you know you tied it down well. You can lift it by the trunk. The roots stay stable in the pot. Now that we're done, give it some water. I water the foliage like mist, and good thorough watering at the roots. And I put it in full shade, or half shade at least, for, I don't know, a month, whenever I feel like it. I put it in shade because after we just trim the roots, that makes shade will make the tree need water less while it repairs the roots. And some people think when they first start in bonsai, like, oh, I just trimmed the roots and it needs to repair, so it needs to make more sugars, so I need to put it in full sun. But really, when it's repairing the roots, it's working off of sugar that is already made and preserved throughout the tree. So it's just redirecting those saved, banked sugars towards repairing the roots, and it will grow more fully once those roots are repaired. So this is one of the reasons why it's kind of difficult or not advisable to repot a tree that's not healthy, because it won't have the repaired sugars to repair those roots. But this one, pretty healthy, got some fat buds on it. Fat bud right there. So, yep, ta-da. Hold on, one quick thing. I guess I have an announcement. So, I don't know when I'll get around to posting this YouTube video, but it may be the case that I'm selling seeds on my website. As of the time that this is recording, I'm about halfway through my seed growing guide for bonsai. So, if you want to learn how to do that, go somewhere in this box or the description for learning how to grow from seed on my blog. And you can buy the seeds from me. If you can do the seeds yourself, I would appreciate it if you bought them from me. But the information will be on my blog. If you collect your own seed, I will not hate you, I promise. I just want to see everyone have beautiful bonsai. Okay. Yo, thanks for watching, Bonsai fam. Check out the blog in the description and subscribe if you want to see more, comment, all that stuff. Okay, peace.